What's up, everyone? Welcome to the channel. Today on Country with Noah, you guys are going to get 3 new videos from me. One, this video is going to be my review of Dutton Ranch, episode 4 with spoilers. The second video you guys are going to get from me is my review of Dutton Ranch, episode 5 with spoilers. 3, the third video you guys are going to be getting from me is Dutton Ranch episode 6 review with spoilers. So I am catching up today, guys. I am catching up, and I I apologize for the delay in giving you guys content on this channel. I apologize for that, and I hope you understand. But let's get started with this review. So episode 4 was this show is incredible. If you haven't started watching this show, like it's incredible. It's one of my favorite shows of the year. But this episode was sad, bro. It was sad. So in this episode, you Rip, Beth, Azul, and Zachariah all have to go and um uh take care of their sick bull problem. And the way they take care of it is because they have to, right? Because when one bull is sick, that doesn't bode well for the rest of the herd. So they have to go and do a mercy killing of all Rip and Beth's bulls that they have acquired and they have taken care of, and um they have nurtured. They have to go kill all the bulls because the new bull that they got a few episodes ago turned out to be really sick. So that's the big thing that happens this episode. But also, like, you have Beth meeting Ariana for the first time while her and Carter are in bed. Well, Ariana and Carter are in bed together, right? So that's a little weird, but it's Beth Dutton, so she's like, "Who's your friend, Carter?" And Carter's like, does it matter?" And then he's like, um, he tells Ariana, "I'll drive you home." And then Beth's like, "No, you go to school." So then Beth drives her home, and Beth drives Ariana home once Beth finds out where Ariana is from, which Beth finds out that Ariana is from the Ten Petal Ranch, Beulah's Ranch. So Beth's like, "Of course you are." So Beth drives her home and is like, "If you break his heart, if you destroy his life in any way, if you hurt him, I will destroy your life." That's basically what she's saying. You don't want to fuck with my son. That's basically what she's saying. And for those of us that have watched all the Yellowstone universe so far, you guys know, and I know as somebody who has watched this show or these shows since Yellowstone, right? That you don't want to fuck with people that Beth cares about. So when Beth says that to Ariana, she really means that. So then Beth does some research on the guy that gave him the sick bull, and she calls the doctor that apparently um um gave the sick bull all the gave the sick bull the clean bill of health, and the doctor goes, "Sorry, ma'am, I I never heard of the guy that gave you a bull. I and then Beth realizes that her and Rip got played, and then uh, Beth tells Carter to take Ariana out and to have a good time, and she tells him that there's no curfew, right? And then she makes it so that Carter doesn't have to see all the bulls get killed. And she's protecting her son, right? And then Beth goes to a store and buys a bottle of whiskey or tequila, and the store clerk is like, "Who's the or who are you throwing the party for?" And then she's like, "It's not a party, it's a funeral." So then we pick up with Azul, Rip, Zachariah, and Beth all sitting at a table, and Rip's like, "If y'all want out of this, I understand, right? Because this, like, the next scene that we're gonna talk about in this review in this episode was really hard for me to watch. It's really hard for anybody to watch because what happens? So Rip says, and when Zachariah and Azul tell Rip like, "We're in. We got you back," and because what they have to do is because all the bulls are sick and the risk of keeping them alive, and like the risk of keeping them alive means that like the risk of keeping all the bulls alive is that all the bulls continue to get sicker, or all the sick bulls continue to get sicker, and they infect the non-sick bulls. So what they have to do is they have to kill their whole herd. So like he goes, um Azul, Zachariah, I want you to bury, I mean, to build a grave. And then he says, Azul, and Zachariah, I want you to keep me loaded, right? Because Rip is basically planning to do a massive mercy killing, right? To do the humane thing, right? And, but like, this scene, like, then we see Rip having to kill his whole herd. And this scene is incredibly hard to watch, dude. Like this scene almost brought me to tears. Like if you like animals and if you're um um like against animals getting killed on TV shows, you are not gonna like this episode, right? Again, he's doing it for a reason. Like he's giving them a mercy killing, right? Because if he doesn't, they'll continue to suffer. He's doing the humane thing, but it's still an incredibly hard scene to watch. And then, you can just see the pain in Rip's face as he um is forced to do this. He's forced to kill his whole herd because some idiot motherfucker gave him a sick bull, right? And then so he does what he has to do, and then Beth tells him, "Hey, you're not gonna like this, but we got played," basically. And then you get to see Rip be Rip again. You get to see Rip basically go to the guy that sold them the sick bull, and he basically throws him around a little bit, and he's like, "Get the fuck out of um get the fuck out of this town. I never want to see your face again. You gave me a sick bull, and never come back here or I'll kill you." Right? That's basically what Rip says to the guy that sold them the bull. Because again, guys, Rip and Beth have to completely rebuild their ranch now. Like they took out all their livestock, right? Right? They have to rebuild um all their ranch. Like they have to rebuild their ranch. So like and like Rip and Beth really cared about like preserving the animals and making sure they were healthy and and stuff like that. So like it wasn't just Rip killing all the bulls because he had to kill all the bulls. Like you could see the pain and the anguish in his face that he had to do that. Like even when he has to kill the little baby bull, he's like, "You don't deserve this." And then like this scene when they have to go kill all the livestock that Rip and Beth own, uh it almost it almost brought me to tears. Like, it's a very hard scene to watch, right? So for me, I would say Rip and Beth's reaction here, uh, to basically forcing the guy that sold him a the sick bull, to get out of town was a good reaction because of what they were just forced to do. So then Beth like lights the lighter and burns the guy that sold him the bull's trailer, and then Beth's like, I just wanted peace. Like, they're people looking for peace. Like, even though we like to see Rip and Beth do badass things, right? They are looking for peace. They are looking for um, a way to get through life without having to do what they just did, right? But they just got played. Like, again, the Duttons are not people to fuck with, right? So then, then, uh, Beth's like, how am I gonna tell Carter? And you can tell that Beth and Rip are still grieving because, again, they just had to um they have to rebuild their ranch now. And then Carter, like, Ariana gets told by her grandmother Beulah that, like, you basically lost all your privileges because Beulah, like, the Beulah Jackson and the Jackson family remind me of the Duttons in some ways, but with less, like, morals and um less good in them, right? Like for Joaquin, Beulah's adopted son, really reminds me of Jamie Dutton mixed with um well, really reminds me of Jamie Dutton, right? And Beulah reminds me of an older, more bad intentioned version of Beth. But also, what the writers do so well in this show is they humanize even the bad characters in the Yellowstone universe. Like, some of the characters, they humanize them to make them relatable. And with Beulah, Annette Bening's character, you find out that Everett and Beulah probably had a son together. And that's why they still have chemistry. Um and and you get to see Beulah be human and stuff like that, right? And not just be the ruthless leader of the 10 petal ranch. But um so anyway, so, like, Beulah does care about her granddaughter, but Beulah also wants Ariana to take her place, to be her when she grows up, and Ariana wants nothing to do with Beulah. So Ariana tries to escape the 10 petal ranch, and the guy that's basically forced to babysit her is like, hey, if you go and meet your boyfriend Carter, right? Um, Nothing will happen to you, but some of us have consequences that we have to face, right? And Beulah's version of consequences is uh like breaking bones and stuff like that. Like, she'll get people that work for her to break your bones and stuff like that. So um then Carter gets stood up by Ariana because Ariana wants to basically help the guy that's forced to babysit her, right? And the guy basically talks her down from going to see Carter because it will make her life worse and it will make his life worse. Um so I'm interested to see where that storyline goes. Also, in episode 4, Carter meets a guy named Dwight who he starts to work for. Like, Carter Carter's trained how to be a rancher, right? Like Rip taught him how to like ride, how to ride a horse, how to like be a cowboy basically. And um Carter Carter goes to where ranchers go to get work, and he meets this guy named Dwight, and we find out that Dwight um is in the exotic animal trade. And what I mean by exotic, Dwight has like a African leopard that he keeps as a pet. So I'm very interested to see where um, that goes in the storyline as well. And yeah, in terms of the performances, you guys know one of my goals one day is to become an actor. One of the ways that I am studying how to become an actor is by watching great performances like they have in this show. And um the performances are incredible in this show. Like as I said, like you can tell from like you can tell the pain and the anguish and the anger and the grief all in Cole Hauser's face when he has to go and do what he has to do um uh to the animals, right? You can feel the pain and the anguish and stuff like that. Even when Rip has to go in, well, that's mainly anger, but even when Rip has to go in, um, like basically throw the guy that sold him the sick bull out of town, you can tell that that is hard for Rip because he doesn't want to be, um, he doesn't want to be that guy all the time anymore, right? He can be that guy and he will be that guy, I'm assuming, because we're only 4 episodes in, right? Right? Because I haven't seen the other 2 episodes, right? I'm gonna review those episodes right after I'm done reviewing this one, but um, but um yeah, you can tell that this what they had to do in this episode, like mercy kill their whole herd and basically rebuild from scratch, really hurt them, and they're still grieving, and they have to they have to find a new way forward, and they have to rebuild um the new ranch's infrastructure again. So yeah. Um but overall, I loved this episode. Again, very hard episode to watch, but I really enjoyed this episode. This show is incredible. If you guys aren't watching this show, please uh watch this show as soon as possible. And yeah, thank y'all so much for all your support, and I hope you have a great day, and God bless you guys.